Hi, this is Mark Bowen from Idols, and you're listening to 89 FM, the Radio Rock.
Fala galera, beleza? Eu sou o Wendell, Correia e hoje eu tô aqui pra falar sobre a entrevista que eu fiz com o Mark Bowen, guitarrista do Idols, banda nova, né? Banda lá de Bristol, da Inglaterra, eles começaram em 2009. Tem uma pegada que lembra bastante o punk rock, letras bastante contestadoras também. E ele falou sobre a primeira vez que eles vão vir no Brasil, o início da banda, né? E deu uma notícia em primeira mão que eles estão finalizando o álbum novo. Ele não deu todos os detalhes, porque ainda estão finalizando, mas contou bastante detalhes sobre esse novo disco, esse novo trabalho do Idols, que vem pela primeira vez no Brasil no Lollapalooza. Eles tocam na sexta, dia 3 de abril, então vamos conferir essa entrevista por telefone que o Mark Bowen deu para 89 a Rádio Rock. Hi Mark, how are you?
Hi, Wendell.
Are you good? Are you in England?
Yeah, I'm in London. I'm at my house in London at the minute. Chilling out, just put the baby to bed, so all is good, all is chill.
Good. So can we start the interview?
Yeah, definitely.
So, I want to know best from you. You are from Belfast, right? And you moved to Bristol to study, is that right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I studied dentistry in Bristol for 5 years, and that's where I met Joe and the rest of the guys.
How you met the guys to form Idols?
How did we meet? Joe was a DJ. We were both DJs at this venue in Bristol that's on a boat called the Settler, and he used to do like a kind of indie / kind of like hip hop kind of type night, and then I did a kind of techno-y electro night. And we met. I can't remember how we met randomly at like at a different venue. One night, Mr. Wazzer was playing, and it kind of we have very similar interests and very similar kind of ethos and outlook, and we became very good friends. And then, like, through him, I met Dev. We started the band, and then Lee and John got involved. But it was very much like a Bristol kind of thing. We were all very heavily involved in our own separate ways in the Bristol music scene, but in very different kind of sphere from the kind of rock music that we're known for now. And
how do you decide the name Idols for the band?
Do you know what? That was a weird one. We couldn't come up with a name. Like, at one point we were going to be called Garçon Means Boy. Joe was really pushing that. That's like a quote from Quentin Tarantino films. But we decided we wanted to have like a single, like, punchy name that that lost its original meaning as soon as you started to hear it. You need to we wanted to have like bands like Foals or something like that. Like, you never think of the baby horse whenever you think of Foals. So we were like going through the dictionary and picking lots of different ones. And then the song "The Importance of Being Idle" by Oasis came on, and we said Idols, and it did exactly that. It kind of lost the meaning idle as lazy as soon as we said it. So that worked for us.
That's interesting, man. And England has a huge influence in rock scene. Every Brazilian guys that enjoy rock music, when go to London and other places in England, when come back say, oh, you gotta listen to Idols. You guys are making a huge success all over the world now. How is the England rock scene nowadays, in your opinion? This is happening. This is good.
It's good. I think it's reached a new kind of. It's on the up again. I think with like the internet and things like Spotify, I think it had like a rough few years where the market got saturated and there was a lot of crap music being made, and labels were taking a lot less risks. They were playing things very safe and kind of just going for songs that they thought would be big and bands that they thought would be big. So there's a lot of really generic kind of almost EDM sounding kind of like bands. And obviously there's still very much an underground scene, but I think that the scene as it is kind of evolved from bands like us, Fat White Family, Sleaford Moth, who very much would have been on the peripheries like 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago, and now those bands are becoming more popular, and the mainstream as much as it was never our intention to become a mainstream band. Like, and I'm sure the same for Fat White Family and Fleetwood Mac. But like, I think that there has just become a renewed interest in slightly kind of left field rock, left field indie, something a bit more raw, a bit angrier, a bit kind of more visceral.
And now you're coming to Brazil. What do you know from Brazil?
How do you mean? Like, well, do I know any bands? Or well, our drummer used to. Our previous drummer, our first drummer was a guy called John Harper, and he was the drummer for the Brazilian band CSS for a number of years. But that, if I'm being honest, that and so George are probably, that's where my kind of limits of understanding the Brazilian rock scene kind of ends. I'm excited about getting over there. I've heard lots of very good things. Our monitor engineer is from Uruguay, and he always kind of aspires the best crowds here in South America, and like things would really suit us over there. The kind of the atmosphere, the crowds, the people, the scene would really fit with our ethos and kind of how we go about things. So yeah, I'm very excited to see whether it lives up to the expectations we've kind of thrust upon it.
And a lot of people are going to Lollapalooza to see you guys. Now, what can we expect for Lollapalooza? It's going to be a festival concert. It's different from being a solo show, right?
Do you know what? Look, we never really have any expectations going into any show. So, like, you know, whether it's a festival show or whether it's our own show that we've been waiting 6 months to play, and we know it's going to be full of fans and stuff like that. Like, I think that festival shows are I kind of find them more fun because you know there's going to be a percentage of the audience that do not know your band at all, and oftentimes won't like it. Like, you know, there could be people sat in that crowd that are waiting for one of the pop acts or one of the popular acts, and they're sat down the front, and then they kind of get us thrust upon them. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed like trying to win people over. Oftentimes we're playing during the day, which doesn't really fit with our kind of music and our kind of vibe, which again adds another level that we really need to ramp it up. So I think with festival shows, we certainly give it a bit more. We're aware of those things that can go against us, and so we're trying very hard to win people over. And you know, we've got a few tricks up our sleeves that we can kind of get people on our side, hopefully.
Yeah, Brazilians know how to enjoy a concert. I think you're gonna like us.
Yeah, good. Well, I hope so. I'm very excited about playing it.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you are not on tour until end of March. Is that right? When you come to South America?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we played our last show on the 7th of December there, and we have taken a bit of time off. We finished recording our new album in September, and so we're putting the kind of finishing touches on that. And to be honest, it's a good thing that we're able to do that when we're not on tour, because that would be very intense. And we're just getting together how we kind of understand the new album in the live setting. This is the first time we've ever written and recorded an album before playing any of the music live. So we're working on that, resting, building our energy reserves, and I think that will definitely go in the favour of the South American run, because I think that by the time we get to Brazil, we're going to be absolutely raring to go to play some shows, play some of the new songs, and to see how everything sits with the new audience. Let new songs with the new audience. It's going to be new for everyone.
Great news, man. And how was the process of writing and recording? What can we expect for this new album?
The writing process was strange because, you know, we've been on tour for pretty constantly for the last 2.5, 3 years. So trying to write on the road was not difficult, but it was new to us. Well, like all our albums, we came up with the title and the kind of main themes of the album before we started working on it, and then kind of it all very much snowballed in the last kind of 2 or 3 weeks before we went to the studio. Recording process was amazing. We recorded in France, and it's really, I think it's the first time that we've kind of like left the recording studio knowing that what we got is exactly what we went in to get, what we intended with. I think with the last 2 albums there was a couple of surprises that kind of came out, and we didn't really understand the process of recording and didn't really understand how to get across what we were intending. And I think with this new album, we've definitely achieved that, and now we're in the mixing process, and we've got couple of tricks up our sleeves. We've got a record producer and a hip hop guy called Kenny Beats, who's gotten involved, and he's adding a kind of an interesting flavour to the new sounds. The sound was very much cultivated in with hip hop in mind. It's something we're all very much fans of, and I think having his insight from that kind of sphere of music is making for a pretty remarkable album, I think.
Great, man. Expecting to hear that. And how many songs did you record for the album?
Yeah, we recorded. I can't tell you that.
Okay.
We recorded exactly the album's worth. We never intend on writing lots of songs and cutting a few back. Everything that we've written for this album is going to be on the album. We've with the way we went about writing this album, it was very much, there was no room for weakness or no room for letting through anything that was potentially not right. Everything had to be exactly right and sit exactly how we wanted it, and so everything that was recorded is on the album. And I'm not going to tell you how many songs it is.
And the last studio album is a great name, Joy as an Act of Resistance. Is this new one is going to be named like what?
Yeah, we always know the name. So with every album we've done, we actually come up with the title of the album before we write any songs, because the title of the album, and then we form a kind of like manifesto around that title and what that means. And it kind of infiltrates into various different parts of the music and how each of us write and how each of us perform. So yeah, the title was the very first thing we came up with. But I'm not going to tell you what that is yet.
Okay, you're right, but I've got to ask. Could you record that?
It's not called Joy as an Act of Resistance too, anyway.
Yeah, you're right. I have a quick questions for you guys from the radio show here. That is the first one who played Idols in Brazil. It's called Rock Connection. So he did some questions that I'm going to ask you, okay?
Okay, amazing.
The first music you remember hearing?
First music I remember hearing is Electribe 101, Talking With Myself, which is like a house track from the very early 90s, I think. And I remember my dad playing it on tape in the car when we were driving to France.
Okay. And the greatest album of all time for you?
Jesus, what? Greatest album of all time for me is Kid A by Radiohead.
Okay, great answer, man. And who is your favorite songwriter?
Favorite songwriter is Nick Cave.
And
he is, Nick Cave is probably my hero.
And who is your guitar hero?
Guitar hero is let's see. Dick Dale. Dick Dale is my guitar hero. I love
the most underrated band of all time, in your opinion?
The most underrated band of all time is There's a guy from the UK called David Thomas Broughton, and he's like a very bizarre folk singer. He's got a very deep voice, but he writes some of the most beautiful music I've ever heard, and he's definitely underrated.
And as the song that makes you cry?
One second. There's a song on an album called Excavation by the Hexel Click, and probably the first one, let's call it Consumed. That is the most instantaneous emotional reaction I've ever had to a piece of music. It is terrifying and sad and melancholic and beautiful and horrible all at the same time. And it's the most compelling thing I think I've ever heard.
And the last question, your Saturday night party song.
Saturday night party song is Goodbye Horses by Q Lazarus. That is a song that we would play backstage to get us vibey and sassy before we went on stage.
Great. Thank you very much for your time and your attention, Mark. Looking forward to see you guys in Brazil. Appreciated the interview. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon in Brazil, man.
Yes. Thanks, Wendell. See you soon. Bye.
89, a Rádio Rock.